Two-rider battle for second and third between the 74 of Tochi and the 027 of Ross. Is Shearer, Tochi, Ross, Cote, Bouchard. Looks like Bruce Gaspardi Sr. is the scratch on this race right here, so we're down to 5 riders. Shearer pulling away from that little battle, raging on for second and third. White flag is out. One more lap to go for Steven Shearer. Tochi now also able to secure that sole hold on second place, setting their sights on Shearer up at the lead. Not quite sure he'll have enough time to make up that 2-second gap before the checkered flag. However, at least he doesn't have to worry about that battle for second and third raging on anymore. One last time through that left-right switchback onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag is flying for your heat race winner, the 188 of Steven Shearer, taking the W today for Lancaster, New Hampshire. Tochi going to finish second, and a little bit of space back before we get to our third place finisher, the 8 machine of Matt Cote. Quick heads up, we did experience some quick live stream issues, so I just wanted to send a quick welcome to all of our viewers right now. We had some issues getting everything live over here, but I'm excited to welcome you all back where we are in the midst of Sunday Funday racing here at Tenney Mountain in beautiful Plymouth, New Hampshire for the Mountain Sled Fest weekend. Last day of our 3 days of activities and racing over here. We're just about to begin race number 7. We got a dual class coming at you. Kids Ditchbanger 8 to 12. We have the 77 of Reed Harlow. In the Junior Ditchbanger 13 to 17 class, the 8X of Wyatt Harlow, 22 of Haley Hartford, and the 411 of Riley Hartford. So we've got a double Harlow-Hartford race coming at you. 4 riders, 2 classes. First across the start-finish line, your early race leader is going to be the 411 of Riley Hartford from Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Setting the pace early on. It's Hartford, Harlow, 1, 2, 3, 4 as it currently sits. Riley Hartford in the lead. About a 2-second gap back to the 22 of Haley Hartford in second. Another little gap before we get back to the 8X of Wyatt Harlow. And then at the rear of the field, the lone rider in the Kids Ditchbanger 8 to 12 class, the 77 of Reed Harlow, rounding out our 4-sled field. White flag is out for the 411 of Riley Hartford. One more lap to go for our race leader. Wyatt Harlow able to gain some speed on Riley Hartford. Wyatt now up to second place overall, ahead of Riley Hartford, setting the pace, trying to pull ahead of the 22 of Haley Hartford with half a lap left. Not quite sure he's going to be able to do it this time by. Checkered flag is flying. 411 of Riley Hartford going to take the win for Eastern Propane and Oil, Wolfboro Boat Company, Northeastern Development, and Diane Hartford. It'll be Wyatt Harlow on the 8X finishing second, and the 22 of Haley Hartford rounding out your top 3. That was race number 7. Up next, race number 8 of 16, officially halfway through our first set of heats on the day. Pro 206 up next. We have the 009 of Calvin Kingsbury out of Corinth, Vermont. The 10 of Dylan Ryder Jr. from Livermore, Maine. The 025 of Maverick Kingsbury out of Corinth, Vermont. And rounding out our 4-sled field, we have the 030 of Liam Morris from Lebanon, New Hampshire. 4 riders signed up for our Pro 206 class today. As a reminder for those of you checking in on the stream, we did have some slight technical difficulties earlier on, but we are back spreading some live stream coverage from the Mountain Sled Fest weekend here at Tenney Mountain in Plymouth, New Hampshire. Race 8 officially taking the green flag. Looks like 3 of our 4 riders making the call early on. Early race leader is going to be the 030 of Liam Morse, setting the pace, absolutely pulling away from the rest of the competition. Looking really nice through that uphill steep section for these kiddos. Making their way through the left, right-hand switchback corner onto the front straightaway over that roller. And the first lap in the books officially for the 030 of Liam Morse out of Lebanon, New Hampshire. Going to set the first lap into the books. The 0.25 of Maverick Kingsbury. Right behind, about a 4-second gap between our top two riders. Morse seems to be having some issues in that left-hand corner, which gives Kingsbury the charge they needed to get a little bit closer up. But now Kingsbury seems to be having some problems. That will give Morse a nice little gap there between our top two riders as well. The 009 of Calvin Kingsbury. Right behind Maverick, I assume the sibling. So we have a nice little sibling rivalry there for second and third raging on currently. White flag is out. One more lap to go for Morse out front through that left-hand split lane section. Looks like it's right as they're coming out of turn 2 that our riders are having a little bit of difficulty there. Might be digging into some of this wet snow we had. You know, conditions have cooled down quite a bit from yesterday, but for these youngsters on these little sleds, that uphill portion of the track is causing some slight issues there. Morse coming back up, making it through that right-hand turn. Not quite as easily as he was hoping, but checkered flag is in sight. Morse gonna take the win here today in the Pro 206 class. Little bit of space back before we get to our second and third place competitors, as Morse looks to be taking a victory lap here. Morse putting another lap in the books after taking the W. We're going to get our other sleds pulled off the track here. Looks like second place unofficially may have gone to Calvin Kingsbury, if I'm seeing things correctly. And Maverick Kingsbury going to round out your top 3. Race number 9 up next, another dual class coming at you. The lone racer in the 500 trail class, we have the 44 of Bo Apt from Brownfield, Maine. And in the 600 trail class, we have 7 competitors today. The 1 of Whitney Roberts. Junior Sierra piloting the 3 for Studboy, Letter Rip, Klotz, and JV Products. Matthew Parker on the 69 out of Bristol, Connecticut, racing for Addison Cables. Parker Bro, CNA Ski, Land and Sea. The 73 of Steve Ballard out of Middleton, Massachusetts. Mike Wynn piloting the EET Wide Open Throttle Graphics, CNA Pro Skis, Traction Boy, EVS Rock Speed Effects, Hinks, Backcountry Addicts, number 127. The 292 of JCM Performances, Jackson Murray out of East Burke, Vermont. And rounding out our 7-sled 600 trail class, we have the 316 of Cody Bain from Bristol, Connecticut, racing for Addison Cable Solutions. 121 Motorsports, Parker Bros & Co., Land and Sea, Wrench Right, Goodwin Performance, and C&A Skis. As you can see on that left-hand screen there, going to give our infield spectators a chance to move about, get back into the lodge, or move into the infield if possible. But our sleds are getting fired up, and we are ready to go back to some green flag action here for race number 9, our 500 trail, 600 trail classes. Looks like 7 of our planned 8 sleds making the call. Flaggers just checking the track, making sure everything is kosher, set and ready to go before we get back to some green flag action. Flag is in the air for the starter, checks the riders, gives them a chance to make sure they are all ready to go, gives them the signal. Hand is down and out. Flag is up, and we are racing. Nice 2 skis up front for our early race leaders. Might have a third trying to battle in there for the lead as well. Turning into a side-by-side battle for second and third through that left-hand, right-hand switchback onto the front straightaway. First lap officially in the books. Looks like we almost touch, knock a little bit there. And it's the 33 of Junior Sierra leading the charge early on. 69 of Matthew Parker in second. 929 of Murray Rounding out your top three. Top two riders spread out quite a bit. Then we've got a nice side-by-side battle for third and fourth through that uphill section on the northeast side of the track. Back through the switchback onto the front straightaway, though. Another lap in the books for your early race leader, the 33 of Junior Sierra. Murray now up to second place overall. That battle for third and fourth looks to be between the 69 of Parker and the 1 of Roberts, if I'm seeing things correctly here. Looks like we've got one sled on a different numbered bike out there, that 121 machine. Up and over the start-finish line jump. Nice little side-by-side battle going there for our top two riders. And it's going to be the 33 of Junior Sierra taking the win here today in the 600 trail class. Murray going to finish second overall. And the 69 of Parker going to round out our top three. Race number 10 up next. Ditchbanger Twins. We have the 8 of Angelo Belsito from Oxford, Massachusetts. The 8X of Wyatt Harlow out of South Stafford, Vermont, racing for Whitcomb Hillworks. Colton Gillian on the 16, racing for Gillian & Sons Excavating and Southside Sales. Bruce Gaspardi Sr. on the 33. The 64 of Wyatt Packin, racing for HK Power Sports. Mike Wynn on the ET Wide Open Throttle Graphics, number 127. And the 918 of Hunter Riley, racing out of Bristol, Maine. Supposed to have 7 riders lining up at the gate. Looks like we have 4 as of now. So not quite sure if we are waiting on a couple additional riders or if they are just not going to be making the call for today. Our track has been cleared from the previous race, however, race number 9. Looks like our flagger is just receiving some communications there. He's going to give the riders the check, though. Looks like we're going ahead with 4 riders. Gives them the hand signal to be ready. Points it down. Flag is up, and we are Ditchbanger Twins racing. Single file through our top 4 competitors. Nice little battle developing there for first and second, as well as another battle for third and fourth. Out front, onto the front straightaway. First lap officially going to be in the books for your early race leader, the 33 of Gaspardi Sr. setting the pace. Trying to pull away from that battle, now raging on for second and third. A side-by-side battle between the 64 of Packett and the 918 of Riley. And then only a 1 second gap back to the 8X of Wyatt Harlow. Gaspardi Sr. had a pretty solid night last night. Looking to do the same again as he puts another lap in the books here. Riley able to make them pass on Pack in the 918 up to second, now setting their sights on Gaspardi Sr. We're now single file throughout the field. Just a 1.5 second gap between our top 2 riders, and still a 1 second gap between second and third, but Packin is not going to go as easily as he hopes. Has some issues on that left-hander up at the top of the field. Checkered flag is out, though. Gaspardi Sr. gonna take the W today for Southside Sales, Polaris, Woody's Traction, Rock, Speed Effects, and CNA Pro Skis. Hunter Riley going to finish second on the 918. And it'll be the 8X of Wyatt Harlow rounding out your top 3 as Packin has some issues and moves back to 4th. Race 11, a triple class coming at me next. The lone RMR WSAX 440 improved class racer. We have the 292 of Jackson Murray out of East Burke, Vermont, racing for JCM Performance. In the Leaf Spring class, we have the 20 of Timmy Bildow, racing for A1 Water Services of New Hampshire out of Groveton, New Hampshire, and the 71 of Dawson Eldridge from Ossipee, New Hampshire. And in the 800 to 850cc trail class, we have the East Up Automotive Bibbins Sales and Service number 64 of Brian Burkle out of Verona, New York. The 111 of Cody Ellis, racing for Straight Line Performance, CNA Pro Skis, Snow Studs, Rocks, Handguards, Ravex Motorsports, and Fly Racing out of Middleton, Massachusetts. And the 316 of Cody Bain out of Bristol, Connecticut. Lights are out. 5 of our 6 riders making the call as they make their way up through that steep Tenney Mountain back straightaway. One rider absolutely pulling away from the rest of the field through that left-right-hand switchback onto the front straightaway. Up and over, it's the 111 of Cody Ellis setting the pace. Cody Bain going to finish second through that first lap. The 292 of Jackson Murray in third. Currently leading that WSAX 440 improved class. And then it's Bill Doe rounding out your field. Looks like it's the 71 of Dawson Eldridge that's the scratch today. Another lap in the books for race leader, the 111 of Ellis, pulling away from the 316 of Bain. A 5.5 second gap already developed between our top two riders. But we've got some close racing action there for second and third overall. Bain currently sitting in second place, fighting off the battle from the 292 of Murray. Now, even though they are in separate classes, they are still going to battle for that second place overall. Ellis going to take the win today for Straight Line Performance and Fly Racing. And that battle for second is going to end up going to the 316 of Bain, with Murray rounding out your top three, taking the win in the 440 improved class. Race 12 up next, Junior Open. We have the 10 of Chase Meekin from Meredith, New Hampshire, racing for HK Power Sports. Brennan Camo on the 16 from Nashua, New Hampshire. Riley Hartford piloting the Eastern Propane and Oil Wolfboro Boat Company, Northeastern Development, number 22 out of Wolfboro, New Hampshire. And the 56X of Grayson Gorham, racing out of East Burke, Vermont for C&A Proskis, Studboy Traction Products, Mike's Gas, West Burke, Vermont, Mr. G's Liquidation Centers. 4 racers. I do see all 4 have lined up. Looks like Meekin was perfectly situated to hide that 4th rider, but we do have all 4 of our racers making it to the lineup today for race number 12 of 16, our Junior Open class. Making sure our riders are in their correct starting order on the starting gate before we get back to some green flag conditions here. Riders are lined up. Seem to be all good to go. Flagger gives them the light, and we are back to racing. Early race leader, looks like that might be the 10 of Chase Meekin, setting the pace early on, but he's got company right behind him. Our second place competitor, I believe that might be Brennan Camo, trying to take over that top spot. Little 2-rider battle for first and second, 2-rider battle for third and fourth. Meekin going to put the first lap in the books. Camo following behind in second with less than a second between them. And it's the 56X of Grayson Gorham in third currently. Looks like the 22 of Riley Hartford also in that battle for third and fourth. Spreading things out a little bit between our top 4 riders. There was a second gap between first and second as Meekin puts another lap in the books. Now it's turned into a second and a half gap. Second and a half gap between the two. Then we got 3.5 seconds back to the 56X of Grayson Gorham. One last time through that left-right switchback onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag is going to be flying for the 10 of Chase Meekin, taking the win today for HK Power Sports in this heat race. Then it's going to be Camo finishing second. And it looks like that was the 22 of Riley Hartford rounding out the top 3 with Grayson Gorham rounding out your field. Race 13 up next, Ditchbanger Triples. 5 competitors on the sheet. The 02 of Doug Wintle from Londonderry, New Hampshire. Wolfboro, New Hampshire's Kyle Place on the 12. The 66 of Saugus, Massachusetts, Phil Amico. David Cesare from Peabody, Massachusetts on the 69. And we have the 74 of Craig Tochi from Salisbury, Massachusetts. 5 competitors in race number 13, our Ditchbanger Triples class. All going to be 3-cylinder Ditchbangers. in this triples class for you today. Bringing some nice ditchbanger action out to the beautiful slopes of Tenney Mountain in Plymouth, New Hampshire, where we have been live streaming all weekend. Had some snow cross races Friday night here. Yesterday morning, went into hill cross on another slope. And then we were back last night for more snow cross and Sunday Funday action. And now we're on to our final racing of the weekend. Back to some classic Sunday Funday action here at Tenney Mountain. The final set of races for the 2025 racing season. Riders are at the ready. Flagger gives them the sign. Arm is up. Riders set. Green flag is out. And we are Ditchbanger Triple Racing. Nice three-rider battle up front. Slowly turning into a two-rider battle for second and third. The lone sled out front making their way through that left-right switchback onto the front straightaway, setting the pace here today. First lap officially in the books for early race leader. The 74 of Tauchi leading the charge. Cecere on the 69 and Wintle on the 02 battling for second and third side by side. Don't count out the 66 of Amico, though. Amico right behind, looking to try to make it a three-rider battle for second, third, and fourth. Side-by-side action through that left hand at the top of the trail. The 66 of Amico currently sitting fourth, trying to take over that final step on the podium. Tochi putting another lap in the books at the lead. Cecere second. Wintle and Amico only half a second gapping both of those riders. And now we're turning it into a three-rider battle for second, third, and fourth. Amico tries to sneak up to the inside. Not quite going there. Cecere still holding on to second place overall. Checkered flag is flying. The win's going to go to Craig Tochi on the 74, but the real battles for second, third, and fourth. Who's it going to be? Second is going to go to the 66 of Cecere, with only a 0.4 gap before we get back to the 02 of Wintle, rounding out your top three. Amico in place, going to round out your five-sled race. Race 14, plus 30 snow cross up next. 02 of Brian Whaley from Laconia, New Hampshire on the HK Power Sports sled. Junior Sierra racing for Studboy Letterrip Klotz JB Products on the 33. Middleton, Massachusetts, Cody Ellis on the Straight Line Performance CNA Pro Skis number 111. The 114 of William Coulter, 171 of David Baird, 192 of Eric White. Spencer De La Brewer all the way from Ham Lake, Minnesota on the 194. And the 314 of Nate Wilkinson out of Putnam Station, New York, racing for Wilkes Contracting, Champlain Valley Heating and Plumbing, and Diedrich's Tree Service. 8 riders in plus 30 snowcross race number 14. Flagger gives them the sign, light is up, and we are back to racing. Early race leader pulling away out front. I believe that might be the 194 of De La Brewer, if I'm seeing things correctly. Nice little three-rider battle for first, second, and third. Side-by-side battle for a fourth and fifth raging behind. Out front alone, though, through that switchbacks. Our second place sled going up and over the bars. De La Brewer going to be your early race leader. That second place rider who went up and over, now all the way at the back of the field. Looks like that was the 111 of Cody Ellis battling for the lead. Ellis already back up to 7th, but now he's got quite a long way to get through in this heat race. Our lineup as it currently sits, white flag is out, one more lap to go. For our race leader, De La Brewer on the 194, Wilkinson in second, Whaley in third, Burgoyne fourth, Coulter. Going to round out your top 5 so far. We're single file throughout the field. Ellis already back up to 6th, but with only half a lap left to go, not going to work too well for him. And just like that, checkers are flying. Came all the way out from Minnesota to race here today. Spencer De La Brewer gonna take the W. Wilkinson gonna finish second on the 314. Whaley rounding out your top 3. Dale Brewer, sponsored by the Carbide Podcast, Woody's Traction, X Racing, Ridge, Dennis Kirk, Hot Stuff Kitchen, Fly Racing, and Southside Polaris all getting the win. Race 15, 2 races left to go in our heat races. Ditchbanger 2000 to 2009 class. Looks like 4 of our scheduled 8 racers making the call. We have the 8 of Angelo Belcito from Oxford, Massachusetts, the 34 of Matthew Stoddard, 64 of Wyatt Packin, Brian Durba on the 101, Mark Restaino on the 117, the 192 of Eric White, Kevin Godfrey on the 218, and the 292 of Jackson Murray out of East Burke, Vermont. 8 riders scheduled. 4 currently sitting at the staging area. Looks like we have a couple more pulling up here. Not quite sure if these are riders for this class or if they are for the next heat race. Flagger giving the riders the sign, so it looks like we will be starting with 4 racers today in our Ditchbanger 2000-2009 class. Green flag is out. Nice little side-by-side battle up front for the early race lead. Might even be flirting with a third competitor out there as well. Top 3 riders taking that left hand up at the top of the trail. Side-by-side through the left-right switchback. First lap officially in the books for your early race leader. The 64 of Wyatt Packin setting the pace in the Ditchbanger 2000-2009 class. The 292 of Jackson Murray in second. Bruce Gaspardi Sr. on the 33 in third, and it's the 117 of Restaino that's going to be sitting in 4th place overall. Out front, though, Gaspardi still holding on to that lead. It's now turned into a 2-rider battle for second and third. Murray holding on to second. And right as I say it, it's actually Packin that's out front. Packin was able to take over that lead through the switchbacks. Gaspardi Sr. back to third, but now he's going to battle back. And up front now, another change for the lead. That might be the 292 of Jackson Murray. Through the switchback, up and over. Checkered flag is out for your race winner, the 292 of Jackson Murray taking the win for JCM Performance. Packin gonna finish second on the 64. Gaspardi Sr. gonna round out your top 3. 3 laps, 3 separate race leaders for your second to last heat race of the day. Final heat race about to hit the track. Race 16, 600 open, 18 plus. We have the 00 of Maxwell Quinn from Meredith, New Hampshire. Jason Dewar on the 1 from Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Bullbrooks Guide Service, Barry's General Store, SR Senate Trucking and Equipment's number 9 of Thomas Sylvester. Colton Gillian on the 16, the 69 of Matthew Parker out of Bristol, Connecticut. Spencer De La Brewer from Ham Lake, Minnesota. Fresh off a heat race win, racing on the 194. The 316 of Cody Bain. Racing for Addison Cable Solutions, 121 Motorsports, Parker Bros & Co., Land & Sea, Wrench Right, Goodwin Performance, and CNA Pro Skis, and the 918 of Hunter Riley, racing out of Bristol, Maine. I see 6 competitors lined up at the line, missing 2 of our planned 8 riders. Going to give our riders a chance to get all situated here. Flagger is checking the track. Making sure we are all good to go. One of our starters coming down to the line. Looks like they're giving an update to one of our racers out there. I believe that's the 194 of Spencer De La Brewer from Ham Lake, Minnesota. just making sure everyone is set and ready to go. We're going to get our sleds fired up here for the final round of heat races for the day before we get into our dual main event show. One of our sleds coming up to the top of the hill. It looks like that's actually the 16 of Colton Gillian. And it looks like we might be bringing all of our sleds up top. I see the 16 of Gillian, the 918 of Riley making their way up. The 121 machine. Not quite sure if they're having some issues with the hill or not, but they've seemed to bring all of the sleds up to the top line where we've been starting our youngsters up here. No official word, so only guesstimations of what seems to be going on. Not sure if there's some issues with that starting line hill, possibly maybe some issues seeing the flagger from down there, but we are going to be starting up here at the top of the hill. I see the 194 of Dale Brewer pulling up to the far right-hand side. The 316 of Bain to the right side of your screen in the neon green gear and sled. Riders checking the starting line. Flagger at the ready. Revs are up. Flag is down, and away we go. Three-rider battle up front. Early race leaders, the 194 of Dale Brewer, trying to make it 2 for 2 on the night. Already back to third, though, in that battle for 1, 2, and 3, as we have a new race leader through the left-right switchback combo there onto the front straightaway. First lap in the books for early race leader. I believe that might be the 918 of Hunter Riley up front. It looks like it's Riley Parker on the 69, Dale Brewer on the 194 in third. Riley Parker, Dale Brewer, Sylvester Quinn, and the 1 of Dewar. Out front, though, white flag is out. Hunter Riley with another lap in the books. A little bit of space before we get back to the 69 of Matthew Parker and the 194 of Dale Brewer. Putting on a show, though, out front. From third up to first through that first hole shot corner. Checkered flag is flying for a heat race winner, the 918 of Hunter Riley, gonna take the win today. Riley from Bristol, Maine with the W. It'll be the 16 of Colton Gillian finishing second, and the 69 of Matthew Parker rounding out your top 3. That was officially our last heat race of the day, I believe. With our heat races coming to a close, we will soon be moving on to our first round of feature racing here. We will be taking a short intermission, I believe, giving our riders and racers a chance to get all situated for their first round of features. We'll be taking a short intermission. Feel free to stand up and stretch your legs, run to the restroom, grab some food, and we will be back momentarily with more racing action here for our first round of features here at Tenney Mountain in beautiful Plymouth, New Hampshire. Now for a word from our sponsors.
Freight is the backbone of the country, and as long as people need goods, they're going to need somebody to get it to them. My name is Matt Bowl with QualityFreightRate.com, powered by T-Force Worldwide. We provide LTL, truckload, and expedited freight services across this country. If your freight weighs over 120 pounds going over 120 miles, that's where my shipping rates kick in. We help companies ship easier for less. With our system, our customers are able to quote and book shipments with ease 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're having trouble with damages, lost freight, claims of any sort, we can help you with our experience, solve the problem, tell you why it's happening and what you should do to prevent it in the future. Me and my team have been together for over 20 years. We know this industry. We can help all size business, big or small, we love them all. But we have a special spot for small business. Small businesses are pillars in the community. Low rates are critical for a small business because the margins are generally pretty small. They need to have competitive rates. They can't be getting gouged or they lose the sale. Freight is simple. People make it difficult. We work as consultants in the industry, so it doesn't matter what your problem is, we'll solve it. We educate the customers, we solve problems, and we lower their shipping rates. And that's what I've been doing for 28 plus years.
Welcome back, racers and race fans. We've finished our quick intermission post-heat races and are officially about to get back to some green flag action here at beautiful Tenney Mountain in Plymouth, New Hampshire, where we are currently going through our Mountain Sled Fest weekend. We are at the final day of our 3-day groupings of activities here at Tenney Mountain. We were out here on Friday night doing some snowcross racing. We were out here yesterday morning on the hill cross track just to the southwest of the ski slope we're currently on. Last night we were back at this side doing some snowcross and Sunday Funday activities, and now this morning we are back to 16 races of pure Sunday Funday fun. We are pulling up our first group onto the track right now, about to get them all situated. Race number 1 of 16 for our first of 2 rounds of features this morning. We have 2 different classes coming at you. In the 200cc girls division, we have the lone 48 of Quinn LaFerrier from Bear, Vermont. In the 200 stock 4-8 class, we have 5 competitors about to hit the track. Heat race winner was the 6X of Lucas Richardson. We have the 217 of Cassius Wilkinson, the 030 of Liam Morris, the 009 of Calvin Kingsbury, and the 521 of William Newton. Flag is up on our first feature race of the day, and we've got a 2-rider battle for the lead up through that uphill portion of the track. Early race leader, though, is going to be the 6X of Lucas Richardson, doing exactly what we've seen from him all weekend long here. He's been absolutely dominating on the snowcross and Sunday Funday courses, and he's looking to do the same today as he is out front leading the charge here at Tenney Mountain in the 200 stock 4-8 class. Richardson, your current race leader. A little bit of a gap before we get back to your second place rider, the 217 of Cassius Wilkinson. Morse on the 030 in third. And then we have the 48 of Quinn LaFerrier in 4th place overall, currently leading the 200cc girls class, with the 009 of Calvin Kingsbury, rounding out your 5-sled field here today. Out front, though, with almost a quarter lap lead over second place is that 6X of Lucas Richardson. Like I was saying earlier, he has been putting on an absolute clinic here in the 200 stock classes for the Sunday Funday and snowcross races that we've been having. Correct me if I'm wrong, he may have won every single race that he's been in this weekend so far, and he's looking to do the same today, setting a blistering pace, a gap of about probably 15 seconds over the second place competitor so far. Checkered flag is flying as we have our first feature race winner of the day, the 6X of Lucas Richardson, going to take that first set of checkers for the main event portion of today. Wilkinson going to make through that switchback section left-right combo onto the front straightaway. Wilkinson is going to finish second place overall for your first feature race. And then we've got another decently sized gap before we get back to our third place competitor, the 030 of Liam Morse, gonna put their final lap in the books about 15 seconds behind. That was race 1. Race 2 up next is going to be our junior 10-13 class. We have 3 competitors lining up in this class today. Heat race winner was the 16 of Brennan Camo out of Nashua, New Hampshire. In second place, though, putting chase, the 10 of Chase Meekin on the HK Power Sports Skidoo. And rounding out our 3-sled field in the middle there, we have the 56X of Grayson Gorham, racing for CNA Pro Ski, Studboy Traction Products, Mike's Gast of West Bjork, Vermont, and Mr. G's Liquidation Centers. 3 riders for feature race number 2 of our morning here at Tenney Mountain in Plymouth, New Hampshire. Making sure our track is all clear. Green flag is out. Early race leader is going to be the 16 of Camo, looking to do what he did during the heat race. Right behind him, Chase Meekin, putting the chase in his first name as he's chasing behind Camo, our current race leader. But Camo and Chase have also got company as the third place rider of Gorham decently close behind as well. Camo up and over that start-finish line jump for the first time in the features. Meekum just under 2 seconds behind, and a second and a half behind Meekum, we have the 56X of Gorham. So all three of our riders pretty evenly spaced as we make our way up that steep Tenney mountain slope on the northeast side of the track before we get to the top trail portion, leading into that left hairpin switchback into the right-hand corner onto the front straightaway. White flag is out. One more lap to go for our junior 10 to 13 competitors. Camo getting the sign out there for how big of a gap he has on the 10 of Meekin. Meekin holding on pretty strong, not pulling back at all, but not gaining any speed. Checkered flag is out, though, and the feature race win is going to go to the 16 of Brennan Camo, taking the win for Nashaw, New Hampshire. Meekin going to finish second, and it'll end up being that 56X of Grayson Gorham rounding out your 3-sled field. Race number 3 up next. We got a dual class hitting your way. In the 200 stock 9 to 12 class, heat race winner was the 6X machine, I believe, of Lucas Richardson. The 38 of Owen Patnaud, the 48 of Quinn LaFerrier, and the 10 of Dylan Ryder Jr. In the 200 open class, we have heat race winner, the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury out of Corinth, Vermont, alongside the 120 of Pierce Cooperman and the 217 of Cassius Wilkinson. Wilkinson sponsored by Wilkes Contracting, Champlain Valley Heating and Plumbing, and Diedrich's Tree Service. We're going to get our youngsters all lined up on that front straightaway there. One thing you will notice, as we've already seen just during the feature races right now, we actually have 2 different starting lines going on currently. So all of our youngster classes, we are lining up top of this little starting grid hill, as you'll see here. We had some issues yesterday with the warm, blistering weather that we had. It was a nice 52 degrees, which is amazing when you're standing around, not too great for snowmobile racing. Melted a lot of the snow, causing some thick, wet snow to be created here. And we actually realized that all of our kids classes, the 200cc competitors and down, were struggling to get up that hill in that thick, wet snow. Today it's a little bit better, high of 22 degrees, or 27 degrees. But still, we're opting to start these younger classes at the top of this starting grid hill to give them a little less hill that they have to compete up. Green flag is out. We have a side-by-side, almost locked rider battle for 3rd and 4th. Out front alone, though, it's that 6X machine pulling away from the rest of the field, showing the rest of the class how it's done. Making that left-right combo through the switchback corner on the north side of the track. Lucas Richardson gonna put the first full lap into the books here, making his way through that turn 1-2 combo down at the bottom side. Richardson leading the 200 open class. A little bit of space before we get back to our 4-rider battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's the 217 of Cassius Wilkinson leading that 4-rider battle, holding on to 2nd currently, but they've got quite a bit of work behind them. The 38 of Owen Patnaud, the 10 of Dylan Ryder Jr., and the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury, all tight in corners right there. As now it's the 6X of Richardson, half a lap ahead, starting to pull up on the rear end of the field. This time by, checkered flag is flying for your feature race winner. Going 2 for 2 on the day. It is going to be the 6X of Lucas Richardson taking the win today in dominant fashion. Right now we're viewing that battle that's still raging for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Quinn LaFerrier going to put her checkered flag in the books, take 2nd place overall, and win the 200 stock 9 to 12 class. That battle for 3rd overall, who's it going to be? Down to the line. Checkered flag is going to be out for the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury, who's going to finish 2nd in the 200 open class. and third place overall. That was race 3. Race 4 up next. We're going to change things up quite a bit for you guys. We've been used to some snowmobile sleds over here, but now we're going to swap things out. 2 skis up front, down to 1 ski, regular size track on the back, down to a more narrow track. The Snowbike Open class. Now this class right here is definitely an interesting class to watch. What they do is they take your normal dirt bikes. I believe we have a Yamaha YZ450F and a KTM SX450 out there right now. They swap out that front wheel for a sled ski. They swap out the rear wheel and linkage system for a timber sled conversion kit to give them a sort of duo dirt bike, snow sled combo there for you guys. So this is definitely an interesting class. It's been gaining quite a bit of traction, dare I say, over the past couple years here. Not just over on the Northeast here, but in the Midwest as well. Midwest, home to Polaris Industries, who works alongside timber sleds, so they're definitely a big supporter. Minnesota is a nice starting spot for the timber sled stuff, but we're bringing it out here more for the Northeast section. As you take a look at your left-hand screen, one thing you will also notice, if you haven't been viewing the live stream the rest of today, our infield is acting as the spectator area. Wanted to make sure our spectators can view all of the racing action from the best point, which happens to be on the inside. So every couple races, we are going to take a brief pause to let some of our spectators go in and out of that infield area. Looks like the track is cleared, so we're going to give our flagger the sign to get ready. Green light is up, and snow bikes are racing here at Tenney Mountain. Nice little side-by-side battle up that Tenney Mountain ski slope. Early advantage was looking like it was the 748 of Coulter. Out front alone, though, able to make the pass on that left-hand corner. First lap is going to go in the books for Alex George. Alex George was your heat race winner here earlier today. He raced last night as well. Got a heat race win earlier last night. Looking to get his first feature win of the night here in the Snowbike Open class for Sunday Funday. He did get a snowcross feature race win last night, riding the class solo, but excited to see him take some gold here in the Sunday Funday class. White flag is out, 1 more lap to go for the Meredith, New Hampshire native Alex George on the 979, racing that KTM, might be a SX350 now that I'm seeing that there. I see that nice 2-stroke pipe whining off on the right-hand side of his snow bike. Through the switchback one final time, up to the checkered flag. Checkered flag's flying for your first snow bike feature race winner of the day. The 979 of Alex George taking the win for Octane Riders. Will and Coulter on the 748 going to finish second. That was race 4. Race 5 up next. 120 Supermod class. Heat race winner was the 10 of Dylan Ryder Jr. from Livermore, Maine. We had the 8 of Isaiah McElroy finishing second in the heat race. Third went to the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury out of Corinth, Vermont. Three riders making the call for our Supermods class. Gonna get them all lined up there at the top of the hill, like I was saying earlier on. For these youngster classes, we are moving them up to the top of the hill just to give them a little less of a uphill battle, if you will, during the beginning portion of this race. Want to make sure we can focus on racing action as opposed to unsticking action in this wet snow. Cooled down a bit, but still causing some slight delays for our youngsters. So starting them off up at the top of the hill. Race 5 about to hit the track of 16. Looks like we got the rest of our youngsters all lining up here. And we didn't have him during the heat race, but looks like the 030 of Liam Morse from Lebanon, New Hampshire is going to make it here for the feature race. He was on our lineup here. Did not quite make it out for the heat, but we are seeing all 4 of our riders line up here for the feature. Riders are ready to go. Track is clear. Flagger giving them the hand signal, making sure they're all set and ready. One of our riders getting scooted back a little bit, making sure they are in line with the rest of our racers. Flagger hand is up. Flag flies, and we are 120 Supermods racing. Side-by-side battle at the front of the field between the 10 of Ryder Jr. Ryder Jr. going to end up taking the solo lead at the top of the Tenney Mountain ski slope, taking that left hand on the north side of the track through that left-right hand switchback section, and going to put the first lap in the books officially. Ryder Jr., your early race leader. It's the aid of Isaiah McElroy, currently sitting in second, about 2.5 seconds behind, but he's got company. It's the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury, hot on McElroy's tail. McElroy Kingsbury separated by only half of a second, about 5 sled lengths between the two of them, and it looks like Kingsbury might be drawing up on the outside, looks to make a pass on the right. Kingsbury now up to second place overall. Out front alone, it's still the 10 of Ryder Jr., but that battle we're watching is for second and third. Kingsbury up to second, McElroy back to third, and Kingsbury setting a nice blistering pace, setting their sights on the leader, the 10 of Ryder Jr. Now that was the white flag lap. We only have half a lap to go. Not quite sure if there will be enough time for Kingsbury to make up the 5.5 second gap in between first and second, but one more step on the podium is going to be great for Kingsbury. Dylan Ryder Jr. going to take the win on the 10 here in this first feature race for the 120 Supermods class. The 025 of Maverick Kingsbury going to finish second. McElroy rounding out your podium, and the 030 of Morse going to finish fourth. Race 6 up next, our Ditchbanger 1990-99 class. Heat race winner was the 188 of Steven Shearer out of Lancaster, New Hampshire. The 74 of Craig Tochi from Salisbury, Massachusetts. We have the 8 of Matt Coate from Ware, New Hampshire. Joseph Bouchard piloting the 1 from Hopkinton, New Hampshire. Nicholas Ross on the 027 out of Holderness, New Hampshire. Rounding out your 5 sled field. 5 sleds making the call in the Ditchbanger 1990-99 class here today. Now these are going to be any Ditchbangers made during the years of 1990 to 1999. Green flag is up, and we are Ditchbanger racing. Out front, we have a nice 2-rider battle for the lead as the 188 of Steven Shearer able to make it out on the right side, make a pass for the lead. Shearer was your heat race winner, looking to be a feature race winner as well, as Shearer going to put the first lap in the books here today in race number 6. Bouchard and Tochi currently sitting second and third. Bouchard had that really nice hop off the line, led that first straightaway into the hole shot corner. Shearer able to pass by on the outside. It's Shearer, Bouchard, Tochi, Coate, Ross, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Shearer setting a blistering pace. He was able to make that pass on Bouchard, and he is just pulling away from the rest of the field. White flag is out. One more lap to go for the 188 machine of Shearer. Already 4 seconds ahead of the second place rider, Bouchard. Tochi just half a second behind, about half a sled length, trying to battle up for that second place spot. It's Bouchard and Tochi, 2 and 3. Tochi looking every which way, trying to get by. Out front alone, checkered flag is going to fly for Steven Shearer, taking the win for Lancaster, New Hampshire. But for second place, the battle is going to go to Bouchard, taking second place overall. And it'll be Tochi rounding out your top 3 in our 90 to 99 Ditchbanger class. Race number 7 up next. Kids Ditchbanger 8 to 12 has the 77 of Reed Harlow racing for Whitcomb Hillwork. In the Junior Ditchbanger 13 to 17 class, we have the second Harlow, the 8X of Wyatt Harlow, also racing for Whitcomb Hillworks. Then we have the heat race winner, the 411 of Riley Hartford, racing for Eastern Propane and Oil, Wolfboro Boat Company, Northeastern Development. And sibling Haley Hartford on the 22, also out of Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Green flag is flying for the Hartford-Harlow double feature here for race number 7. Up that backside hill, it's single file throughout our top 4 racers. Early race leader is going to end up being the 411 of heat race winner Riley Hartford. Last race we saw a Hartford-Harlow finish line. We're going to see today for the feature what we're going to be looking at. And right now we've actually got dual Hartfords up top. Wyatt Harlow sitting in 3rd place overall. The 77 of Reed Harlow currently sitting in 4th overall, leading that Kids Ditchbanger 8 to 12 class. The battle up front, though, is between the Hartfords. Riley Hartford going to put another lap in the books. One more lap to go for Riley. Then we've got about a 3-second gap back to the 22 of Haley Hartford, who's got company. They're getting side-by-side action going on here as the 8X of Wyatt Harlow able to sneak by. Haley had some issues there, bumped through from the inside section of that split lane to the outside. That was just what Wyatt Harlow needed to be able to pass by and make that move for second. Out front alone, though, just like we saw in the heat race, it's going to be the 411 of Riley Hartford taking the win for Eastern Propane and Oil, Wolfboro Boat Company, Eastern Development, and Diane Hartford. Wyatt Harlow going to finish second once again. Haley Hartford rounding out your top 3 with a Hartford-Harlow finishing. Race 8 up next. Pro 206 class. We had 3 riders competing earlier on here. The 030 of Liam Morse racing out of Lebanon, New Hampshire. The 009 of Calvin Kingsbury from Corinth, Vermont. And the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury, also from Corinth, Vermont. Rounding out your top 3. Well, we get our 3 Pro 206 sleds started at the lineup here. Wanted to take a quick moment to thank a few of our sponsors for bringing us out here today. We couldn't have done it without our premier sponsors, obviously Tenney Mountain, helping us in their revival they've been experiencing over the past couple ski seasons. Happy to have them bring us out here. We're able to tear up their ski slopes a little bit with these sleds, but we are thankful to them for having us, along with the National Guard, one of our other premier sponsors here today. We had a few local premier sponsors as well, local to the New Hampshire area, that is. HK Power Sports, Skidoo, and Can-Am, able to bring us along for the journey, serving their customers since 1969. They've been in the area. Current family took over the business in '84. They've even got some racers joining us out here today, so we're happy to have help from them. That was on the south side, Sales Polaris side. For HK Power Sports, they're bringing us out from Hookset and Laconia. Make sure to give them some love if you're in the area. Back to the races, though. Green flag is out for our Pro 206 class. Side-by-side battle up at the front. Liam Morse had the quick jump off of the start gate. Slowly moving back to second place, though, as we've got our new leader up front trying to set the charge and take over that feature race win. Now remember, Liam Morse was the heat race winner. Currently sitting second in this feature race, though. First lap officially in the books for the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury, leading your Pro 206 race. Kingsbury with a 2.5-second advantage over the second place rider, the 030 of Liam Morse. Then we got a little bit of space before we get back to our third place rider as well, the 009 of Calvin Kingsbury. It's Maverick Kingsbury, Liam Morse 1 and 2 up at the top of the slope, though. Up and over the start-finish line jump. White flag is out for Maverick Kingsbury. Liam Morse on the 30. About 2.5 seconds behind. Then already going one lap down, Calvin Kingsbury on the 09. Seemed to be having some issues there. Maverick's able to get by, no problems. Calvin Kingsbury struggling with that steep uphill. Like I was saying earlier, it's been a hard-fought battle for some of these youngsters, you know, just being able to get the traction to go up that hill well on these small sleds. Out front alone, though, checkered flag is flying for the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury. Gonna take the W here today. Finished third in the heat race, taking the win in the feature. Liam Morris gonna settle for second. Calvin Kingsbury gonna round out your top 3. That was race number 8, and we're officially halfway through our first round of features for the day. Race 9 up next. A split gate for you. In the 500 trail class, the lone racer, the 44 of Bo Apt out of Brownfield, Maine. In the 600 trail class, heat race winner was the 33 of Junior Sierra, sponsored by Stud Boy, Letter Rip, Klotz, and JB Products. We have the 292 of JCM Performance's Jackson Murray out of East Burke, Vermont, along with the 69 of Matthew Parker racing for Addison Cables, Parker Bro, CNA Ski, Land and Sea. We also have the 1 of Whitney Roberts, the 73 of Steve Ballard, the 127 of Mike Wynn, and the 316 of Cody Bain. Initially, we were going to have 8 riders for race number 9. I am seeing 5 currently at the starting gate area right now. We're going to give our youngsters a chance to get off the track before we get back to some green flag action here. Sleds are starting up. Flagman gives the sign for the sleds to get going here. We will get them all started and be back to green flag action in just a second. Race 9, hitting the track in just a moment here. The second half of our first round of features for the day. Now remember, for Sunday Funday, what we do here, we do a 3-section structure here. We start off with a round of heats, and then we move into a 2 complete show movement. First off, we have the first round of heats, then we'll move into a second round of features as well. Green flag is out. Early race leader, like we saw in the heat, it's the 33 of Junior Sierra, setting the pace out front on that bright yellow and black sled, leading the charge through the switchback left-right hairpin combo. Sierra's got company to his outside. Junior Sierra, your race leader, but Matthew Parker on the 121 looking to make some moves there. Up through that steep Tenney Mountain uphill slope on the northeast side of the track. It's still the 33 of Junior Sierra. Parker moving a little bit back there, not quite side by side. Now Parker's got company. It's Sierra, Parker, and the 292 of Murray side by side as Murray's able to get by Parker. Parker with issues at the start-finish line. So now it's Sierra, Murray, Parker, Whitney Roberts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out front alone, though, checkered flag is about to fly for your feature race winner. Stud Boy, Letter Rip, Klotz, JB Products, give it up for the 33 of Junior Sierra, taking the feature race win. It'll be the 292 of Jackson Murray, finishing second for JCM Performance. And with a devastating third place, it's the 69 of Matthew Parker rounding out your top 3. Race number 10 about to hit the track. Ditchbanger Twins class coming up at you. So this Ditchbanger Twins class, these are going to be 2-cylinder Ditchbangers. Heat race winner was the 33 of Bruce Gaspardi Sr., owner of one of our sponsors today, Southside Sales Polaris. Happy to have him out racing with us. Sponsored by Southside Sales Polaris, Woody's Traction Rock, Speed Effects, and CNA Pro Skis. We also have the 918 of Hunter Riley out of Bristol, Maine. The 8X of Wyatt Harlow, sponsored by Whitcomb Hillworks. and the 64 of Wyatt Packin, sponsored by HK Power Sports. 4 riders. Looks like we might have a 5th rider as well hitting the track. We were initially supposed to have 7 riders in this class today. We're going to have 7 riders in this class. We narrowed it down to 4 in the heats. Looks like we're back to 5 for this feature race, though, as one of our sleds has a bit of a struggle starting there. We're single file out front. Nice little battle developing for 2nd and 3rd up at the top of the slopes, though. Through that switchback onto the front straightaway. First lap officially in the books for your feature race leader, the 33 of Bruce Gaspardi Sr., trying to do what he did in the heat race, setting a 1.5-second gap between him and that battle raging for 2nd and 3rd. The 64 of Packin has 2nd. The 918 of Riley wants 2nd. Don't count out the 8X of Harlow, though, just a 2nd behind them as well. It's Gaspardi Sr., Packin, Riley, Harlow, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gaspardi Sr. putting another lap in the books. Riley able to move up to 2nd place solely, setting his sights on Gaspardi with 1 more lap to go. 2-second gap in between our top 2 riders. Not quite sure Riley will be able to make up the ground needed on this last half of a lap. Through the switchback, left-hand hairpin corner one last time onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag is out for your feature race winner. It's going to be the 33 of Bruce Gaspardi Sr. taking the win for Southside Sales, Polaris, Woody's, Traction, Rock Speed Effects, and CNA Pro Skis. Hunter Riley going to finish 2nd on the 918. Wyatt Packin going to round out your top 3 for the Ditchbanger Twins class. We're going to clear one of our sleds that had some starting issues there for race number 10 before we get into our race 11. Now, this is going to be a triple threat that we're throwing at you guys. We have 3 different classes making the lineup for race number 11. So first off, we have our Leaf Spring class, the 20 of Tommy Bildo out of Groveton, New Hampshire, racing for A1 Water Services of New Hampshire. Leaf Spring is going to be years 2009 older. These are Leaf Spring snowmobiles. In the RMR WSA X440 Improved class, we have the 292 of Jackson Murray, sponsored by JCM Performance. This is going to be for our WSA X440 class. Engines must be stock displacement. No engine mods allowed except HC domes. All shocks allowed, aftermarket exhausts allowed, but no twin pipes in this 440 class. Then we finally have our 800 to 850cc trail class, exactly like it sounds, 800 to 850cc trail sled bikes. Heat race winner was the 111 of Cody Ellis, sponsored by Straight Line Performance, CNA Pro Skis, Snow Studs, Rocks Handguards, Ravex Motorsports, and Fly Racing out of Middleton, Massachusetts, alongside the 316 of Cody Bain. Bain today sponsored by Addison Cable Solutions, 121 Motorsports, Parker Bros & Co., Land & Sea, Wrenchright, Goodwin Performance, and CNA Pro Skis, based out of Bristol, Connecticut. 3 classes, 4 riders for race number 11. Now, this is also going to be a very interesting class to watch because though we have 4 riders on the track, we are going to be announcing things as overall race positions. However, 3 of our 4 riders are actually going to be feature race winners today, as we have 3 separate classes out there. So when we have smaller classes, like I said, 2 of these classes just have 1 entry in them. We're going to kind of combine them. We'll still announce it, look at it as overall race leader, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. However, we do still go by class when it comes to points and trophies and payouts at the end of the day. So we will have 3 first place winners in this one class out here. Looks like we're really having some issues with one of our sleds that was on the starting lineup for that last race. We're going to give them the sad tow out to the pit area, get them off of the starting gate before we can line up again for feature race number 11 of the day. Again, another quick moment to thank some of our sponsors for bringing us out here today. Couldn't do it without them. We talked about some local sponsors, but what about some sponsors we brought with us from Minnesota? All the way from the Midwest, where Sunday Funday X Racing is based. We have Woody's Traction and Studboy Traction. Woody's Traction, their mission to develop, manufacture, and market the highest quality traction and control products. And Studboy, your one-stop guide for all your snowmobile stud and wear bar needs. Got to thank them for helping us bring our efforts out here to the Northeast. They've been helping us all season long, though, along with USI Skis, creating an outstanding array of snowmobile performance products for experienced and novice enthusiasts alike since 1988. We've been happy to have them on all season as well. Back to racing, however, race 11. Flagger checks the track. Green flag is up, and we are back to racing here at Tenney Mountain in Plymouth, New Hampshire. 4 racers hitting the track. Early race leader looks like it's going to be the 292 of Jackson Murray with the overall race lead. Murray currently leading in the WSAX 440 improved class. And just as I say it, the 111 of Cody Ellis from the 800 to 850cc trail class, able to sneak by, take over that overall race lead. White flag is out for our overall race leader. Another lap in the books for the 111 of Cody Ellis. Second place overall. Currently sitting the 292 of Jackson Murray, leading the WSAX 440 improved class. Third place overall, it's our Leaf Spring leader, the 71 of Dawson Eldridge. One final time, though, up and over the checkered flag. Give it up for your feature race overall winner. It's going to be the 111 of Cody Ellis, sponsored by Straight Line Performance, CNA Pro Skis, Snow Studs, Rocks, Handguard, Ravex Motorsports, and Flyer Racing taking the win in the 800 to 850cc trail class. Second place overall, taking the win in the WSAX 440 class, the 292 of Jackson Murray, sponsored by JCM Performance. And third place overall, taking the win in the Leaf Spring class, it'll be the 71 of Dawson Eldridge out of Ossipee, New Hampshire. So 3 feature race winners, all in one class there for you guys. Was race 11. Race 12 up next, Junior Open. Heat race winner was the 10 of Chase Meekin. We have the 16 of Camo, 22 of Hartford, 56X of Gorham, as we are racing up front. This battle has been raging on all weekend through Snowcross, Hillcross, Sunday Funday, and it's still going on today. Camo at the early race lead, Meekin sitting in second. Meekin was your heat race winner. Camo trying to take that feature race a win. Right now, your lineup, it's Camo, Meekin, Gorham, Hartford, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up through that northeast uphill section of the track to the top of the trail. We're going to make our way through that left-right switchback corner. White flag is flying. One more lap to go for Camo to be a feature race winner today. It's Camo, Meekin. Meekin 3 seconds behind our race leader. A 2-second gap between our second and third place riders. The 56X of Gorham sitting in third. And we got a little bit of space before we get back to the 22 of Riley Hartford rounding out your 4-sled field. Checkered flag out, though. Brennan Camo is a feature race winner here at Tenney Mountain. Camo out of Nashua, New Hampshire. Meekin going to finish second. And it'll be Gorham rounding out your top 3 for the Junior Open class. Race 13 up next, Ditchbanger Triples. These are 3-cylinder sleds. E-race winner was the 74 of Craig Tochi from Salisbury, Massachusetts. We have the 69 of David Cecere from Peabody, Massachusetts. The 02 of Doug Wintle out of Londonderry, New Hampshire. Wolfboro, New Hampshire's very own Kyle Place piloting the 12. And Phil Amico racing the 66 machine out of Sagus, Massachusetts. 5 racers for our Ditchbanger Triples class. Looks like we're taking just a moment to make sure our track is fully clear here before we get back to some green flag action. We're about to start race number 13 of 16 for our second round of main events here at beautiful Tenney Mountain in Plymouth, New Hampshire. Part of our track crew moving around, making sure everyone is set and ready in their flagging stations.
Oh, the Yamaha jumped. What is the holy place out there?
Love getting to see that old school style helmet on that black sled, second from the right, in between the 02 of Doug Wintle and the 66 of Phil Amico. I believe that might be the 12 of Kyle Place sitting there on the lone Articat. Flag is up, though. And we're back to racing in the Ditchbanger Triples class, out front alone with the early lead, absolutely pulling away from the rest of the field. We have one rider out front. The 02 of Wintle had a solid start there, slowly dropping back. I believe he went from the lead to third just on that uphill straightaway there. First lap officially in the books, though. It's the 74 of Craig Tochi, looking to do what he did in the heat race, come in with a feature race win. It's Tochi, Cecere, Wintle, Amico, Place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up that steep Tenney Mountain hill, we've got a 3-rider battle. Now a 4-rider battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth. Tochi out front all alone, but we're liking this battle here for second and third also. And fourth thrown in there as well. We want to see what's going on with this podium battle. Tochi out front all alone. Wintle able to move up to second. Amico back to third. Place in fourth. Cecere having some issues. Cecere now all the way back to fifth. The battle now is going on for second, third, and fourth. Checkered flag is flying. Greg Tochi going to take the race win. But the battle, though, is for second, third, and fourth. Wintle has it. Amico in Place wants it. Who is it going to be? Drag race down to the line. It'll be the 02 of Doug Wintle finishing second in the feature. The 66 of Phil Amico going to round out your podium with Place and Cecere taking fourth and fifth. That was race 13. Race 14 up next, plus 30 snowcross class. Heat race winner all the way from Ham Lake, Minnesota, making the long trek out here to race with the Sunday Funday crew was the 194 of Spencer De La Brewer, sponsored by Carbide Podcast, Woody's Traction, X-Racing Ridge, Dennis Kirk, Hot Stuff Kitchen Fly Racing, and Southside Polaris. We have the 314 of Nate Wilkinson, sponsored by Wilkes Contracting, Champlain Valley Heating and Plumbing, and Diedrich's Tree Service. The 02 of Brian Whaley from Laconia, New Hampshire, sponsored by HK Power Sports. 33 of Junior Sierra, sponsored by Studboy, Letter Rip, Klotz, and JB Products out of Middleton, Massachusetts. The 114 of William Coulter, the 171 of David Baird, and the 192 of Eric White, also making it up here for you. It looks like we are going to bring this class up to the top of that starting gate hill as well. Not sure if this is due to a traction issue on that starting gate hill or if it's a visibility issue for our flagman that we have up there. This is one of our bigger classes, 2, 4, 6, 8 riders in it. Want to make sure that everyone can see our flagger up there and get a equal starting chance. Eight riders, flagman getting at the ready, making sure everyone is set and ready to go to get to some plus 30 snowcross racing action. Gives the riders the sign. Arm is in the air, points down the crew, makes sure they're set and ready. Revs are up. Takes one last look down the line, making sure our riders are good to go. Arm is in the air. Thumbs up to the riders. Flag is flying, and we are officially back to plus 30 snowcross racing. 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide up that start-finish line hill. But now we've singled things out up at the top of the trail with one lone leader pulling away from the rest of the field. First lap officially in the books for your early race leader, the 111 of Cody Ellis setting the pace. The 33 of Junior Sierra in second, Brian Whaley in third. It's Ellis, Sierra, Whaley, Burgoyne, Wilkinson, Coulter, Baird, White, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As we make our way, putting another lap in the books here. We've spaced ourselves out quite a bit. Ellis with a 2.5 second advantage over Sierra in second. Burgoyne able to make moves up to third, but 3 seconds back from the second place rider of Sierra. White flag is out, one more lap to go for our racers as we make our way onto the front straightaway. Once again, checkered flag is going to fly. The 111 of Cody Ellis is going to take the feature race win today. The 33 of Junior Sierra going to take second. Burgoyne going to round out your top three. And this is an interesting finish for you. None of the 3 riders who made the podium in the heat made the podium in the feature, and vice versa. So we've got a fully new cast and crew here for the first heat race of the night in the plus 30 snowcross class. That was race 14. Race 15 is next. Only 2 races left to go in the first section of our main events for the day. Ditchbanger 2000 to 2009 class hitting the track. The 292 of Jackson Murray was your heat race winner for JCM Performance. We have the 64 of Wyatt Packin racing for HK Power Sports. The 33 of Bruce Gaspardi Sr. The 101 of Brian Durba, sponsored by Durba Construction out of Foxborough, Massachusetts. We have the 8 of Angelo Bosito from Oxford, Massachusetts. The 34 of Gray Maine's Matthew Stoddard. The 117 of Mark Restaino out of Derry, New Hampshire. Laconia, New Hampshire's very own Eric White piloting the 192. And the 218 of Kevin Godfrey rounding out your field in the Ditchbanger 2000 to 2009 class. 9 racers on the call sheet for a Ditchbanger 2000 to 2009 class. Looks like we have 4 currently making the starting lineup. Sleds are firing. We're making sure everyone is set and ready to go. Flagman gives them the sign that we are about to go racing. Four riders. Flag is up, and we are Ditchbanger racing. Single file up that steep Tenney mountain slopes. Out front alone, though, pulling away from the rest of the field. He might have company behind him, though, but he is going to lead this first lap through that switchback left-right section onto the front straightaway. First lap officially in the books for early race leader, the 33 of Bruce Gaspardi Sr. Hot on his tail, though, the 292 of Murray. Only half a second behind, packing a second and a half behind in third. Then it's Mark Restaino, currently sitting in 4th place overall. Gaspardi Sr., Murray, Packin, Restaino, 1, 2, 3, 4. Another lap in the books for Gaspardi, Murray, and Packin. A little bit of space before we get back to the 117 of Restaino. Now there is still a 1 second gap between Gaspardi and Murray, but Murray might be trying to do some things on this very last lap here. White flag has been flown one last time through the switchback hairpin left-hand corner onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag is in his sights. Bruce Gaspardi Sr. gonna take the feature race win today. for Southside Sales Polaris, Woody's Traction. Murray gonna finish second, your heat race winner. Hackin gonna round out your top 3. That was race 15. Our final feature race of this second section, our 600 Open 18 plus class. Heat race winner was the 918 of Hunter Riley from Bristol, Maine. We have the 16 of Colton Gillian racing for Gillian & Sons Excavating and Southside Sales Polaris. The 69 of Matthew Parker, sponsored by Addison Cables, Parker Bro, CNA Skis, and Land & Sea. We also have the 00 of Maxwell Quinn from Meredith, New Hampshire. The 1 of Jason Dewar out of Gilmanton, New Hampshire. The 9 of Thomas Sylvester, sponsored by Holbrook's Guide Service, Barry's General Store, SR Senate Trucking and Equipment. The 316 of Cody Bain out of Bristol, Connecticut, racing for Addison Cable Solutions, 121 Motorsports, Parker Bros & Co., Land & Sea, Wrench Right, Goodwin Performance, and CNA Skis. And all the way out from Ham Lake, Minnesota, putting on a good show for us so far this week. Sponsored by Carbide Podcast, Woody's Traction, X Racing, Ridge, Dennis Kirk, Hot Stuff Kitchen, Fly Racing, and Southside Polaris. We have the 194 of Spencer De La Brewer. Flag is up, and we are 600 Open Racing. Our rider's going to come out of the gate up that back straightaway hill on the northeast side of the track, through the switchback left-right combo onto the front straightaway. Early race lead. It's going to be out front. We have the 9 of Sylvester, Parker, Riley, Quinn, and Dewar following behind, as we have one rider going up and over on that start-finish line tabletop, trying to catch his sled that's rolling down the hill. That is going to throw the yellow flag. We're not going to stop the race, but our riders need to be aware there's an unmanned sled making their way down. 16 of Gillian, your race leader, going to be able to pull ahead and use this to his advantage. Sylvester right behind in second. Parker rounding out your top 3. One last time, though, checkered flag is flying. The 16 of Colton Gillian is going to take the win for Gillian & Sons Excavating and Southside Sales Polaris. Thomas Sylvester going to finish second. And it'll be Matthew Parker on the 69 rounding out your top 3. And just like that, we've come to our final main event of the second section here. We're going to take a brief intermission before we get back to some racing action here in just a few moments, where we will be coming back for our final section of main event races here at Tenney Mountain in beautiful Plymouth, New Hampshire. Before we head to a quick intermission, let's hear a quick word from our sponsors.
Freight is the backbone of the country, and as long as people need goods, they're going to need somebody to get it to them. My name is Matt Bohl with QualityFreightRate.com, powered by T-Force Worldwide. We provide LTL, truckload, and expedited freight services across this country. If your freight weighs over 120 pounds going over 120 miles, that's where my shipping rates kick in. We help companies ship easier for less. With our system, our customers are able to quote and book shipments with ease 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're having trouble with damages, lost freight, claims of any sort, we can help you with our experience, solve the problem, tell you why it's happening and what you should do to prevent it in the future. Me and my team have been together for over 20 years. We know this industry. We can help all size business, big or small. We love them all, but we have a special spot for small business. Small businesses are pillars in the community. Low rates are critical for a small business because the margins are generally pretty small. They need to have competitive rates. They can't be getting gouged or they lose the sale. Freight is simple. People make it difficult. We work as consultants in the industry, so it doesn't matter what your problem is, we'll solve it. We educate the customers, we solve problems, and we lower their shipping rates. And that's what I've been doing for 28 plus years.
get rolling in a couple of minutes. So if you want the best standing seat in the house, come on up.
Welcome back, racers and race fans, to our final section of this glorious Mountain Sled Fest weekend here at Tenney Mountain in Plymouth, New Hampshire. We've been here all weekend long. We first came here on Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern for some snow cross racing where we did a couple heats and a set of features. We were back yesterday morning where we did some hill cross racing, again 2 heats and a feature. We were here last night as well doing snow cross and Sunday Funday activities, couple heats, couple features, and now we are back for our final day of activities for the Mountain Sled Fest Ultimate Weekend here. We did our first round of heats at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time today. We just got done with our first set of features for the day about 15 minutes ago. And now we are back for our final set of features during the Mountain Sled Fest weekend here from X Racing's Sunday Funday series. Series, as you guys may know, typically held in the Midwestern area. We've done races in Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota. Decided to come over to the East Coast this weekend to get a little change of scenery. We're extremely thankful to Tenney Mountain and the crew here for allowing us to set up a racetrack, multiple racetracks that is, on their beautiful ski slopes area. Tenney Mountain, one of our premier sponsors this weekend. We're happy to be a part of their team. But right now, we're back to feature racing. Race number 1 about to hit the track. 200cc girls, we had the 48 of Quinn LaFerrier. 200 stock, we had the 6X of Lucas Richardson, the 009 of Calvin Kingsbury, 030 of Liam Morse, 217 of Cassius Wilkinson, and the 521 of William Newton. Green flag is out, and we are feature racing for the final time here at Tenney Mountain. Our last round of features hitting the track as we speak. Up and over the start-finish line tabletop like we've been seeing all weekend long, the 6X of Lucas Richardson putting in a solid lap at the front of the field. We have the 78 of Liam Morse following behind. And it looks like we might actually be having a new class out here today. Possibly racing some 120 improved stock classes out here. We've been having our kids races over on a practice track on the side of the course today. Due to the snow and hill features that we've had here this weekend, some of our kids weren't able to make it up this steep Tenney Mountain hill. So we brought the 120 stock class over here as well to race with our 200 stock and 200cc girls class. Lucas Richardson looking for the clean sweep. He won the heat and the first feature, looking to do so again here as he makes his way one final time through that left-hand hairpin switchback corner, taking that deep right onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag is flying for your first feature race winner of this section. Lucas Richardson gonna take the W in the 200 stock 4-8 class. Little bit of space before we get back to our second place competitor, the 217 of Cassius Wilkinson. Wilkinson putting in another lap. And then leading the 120 improved stock class, we have the 78 of Liam Morse setting the pace, which will bring a close to our first race of the day. Race 2 up next, junior 10-13 class. We have 3 competitors. Again, looking for the clean sweep in this class. The 16 of Brennan Camo won the heat race, won the first feature, looking to do so again. The 10 of Chase Meekin, sponsored by HK Power Sports out of Meredith, New Hampshire. And the 56X of Grayson Gorham, sponsored by CNA Pro Skis, Studboy Traction Products, Mike's Gast of West Burke, Vermont, and Mr. G's Liquidation Center along for the ride. In race number 2, junior 10-13. As we get our final 200cc competitor off the track, our racers in the junior 10-13 class will be firing things up here in just a second. Flagger getting at the ready. Green flag is up, and we're racing. Out front alone, though, like we've seen during the first 2 races in this class today. Brennan Camo setting a blistering pace. Meekin looks to the inside, tries to take this clean sweep away from him. Camo still going to hold on strong for that lead position through the switchback onto the front straightaway. First lap officially in the books for the 16 of Brennan Camo setting the pace. Chase Meekin putting the chase in his first name as he's chasing alongside Camo, trying to take one feature race win of the day away from him.
So Grayson Gorham in third on the 56X Arctic Cat.
Taking that left-hand turn through the switchback section onto the front straightaway. White flag is out. One more lap to go for the 16 of Nashua, New Hampshire's Brennan Camo. Camo slowly but surely pulling away from the 10 of Chase Meekin. Meekin started off with a smaller gap between the two, now about a 2.5 second gap. 5 seconds more back to the 56X of Grayson Gorham. Out front, though, checkered flag is in his sights. Give it up for your feature race winner, the 16 of Brennan Camo, taking the win in the junior 10-13 class. Meekin gonna finish second. Gorham gonna round out your top 3 on that sled that is for sale. Feel free to hit up Grayson Gorham and co. after the races if you're interested in finding a sled in the area. Race 3 up next. Another dual class coming towards you. In the 200 stock class, we have a heat race winner, the 6X of Lucas Richardson. The 025 of Maverick Kingsbury, the 120 of Pierce Cooperman, and the 217 of Cassius Wilkinson make up that 200 open class. In the 200 stock 9-12 class, we have the 10 of Dylan Ryder Jr., the 38 of Owen Pattinaud, and the 48 of Quinn LaFerriere. We're going to get our kiddos lined up there at the top of the hill. If you've been watching the stream so far today, I've mentioned it a couple times, but I like to keep bringing it up. You will notice, so for these smaller CC classes, we are lining up the starting gate here at the top of the hill to ensure that our kids are able to not have quite as much of an uphill battle through these steep slopes at Tenney Mountain. We had some really nice warm weather yesterday, high of 52 degrees, beautiful sunny out. Perfectly amazing if we weren't here for some snowmobile racing. It did end up melting a lot of this snow that we had, made that snow that did stay super wet and thick and hard to get through, and we noticed our 200cc and lower sleds were struggling to get up that hill. So we're moving the start gate up slightly for them so that they have a little bit less of an incline that they have to make at the very start of this race. Flagger checks the riders, puts the hand up as the signal that things are about to go. Green flag flies, and we are 200cc racing out front, pulling away from the rest of the field. Can't say I'm too shocked. He's already half a straightaway ahead. We've seen it all weekend long. The 6X of Lucas Richardson looking to make the clean sweep, not just on the day, but possibly on the whole weekend as well. I believe he's won almost every race he's been in since Friday night. Absolutely killed it in the snowcross races on Friday night. Did well last night as well in the snowcross and Sunday Funday classes he took part in. And so I can't say I'm shocked to see that he's leading the 200 Open class yet again today. 200 Open, top three sitting right now, the 6X of Richardson, 217 of Wilkinson, and the 025 of Kingsbury. In that 200 stock 9 to 12 class, it's the 38 of Patnaud leading the way, the 10 of Ryder Jr., and the 48 of LaFerriere. Richardson putting another lap in the books there, making it look easy on the rest of the crew. We got a nice little side-by-side battle there, raging over on the northeast side of the track as we make our way up to the top end of the trail. White flag is out for Richardson. Patnaud going to make their way across the start-finish line ahead of that three-rider battle for second place overall, Kingsbury and Wilkinson, as the checkered flag flies for the dominant man himself, the 6X of Lucas Richardson, gonna take the overall race win today. Now the battles for that second place position. We've got a three-rider battle raging for second, third, and fourth. Right there at the very top, you see the 38 of Owen Patnaud currently leading the 200 stock 9 to 12 class. Right behind in third place overall, the 217 or the 025 of Kingsbury. Patnaud gonna get the checkered. Kingsbury gonna finish second in the 200 Open class. Then it's Ryder Jr., Wilkinson, and LaFerriere rounding out your field. That was race 3. Race 4 up next. We're going to change things up quite a bit from the traditional sleds you guys know and love to something a little different, our snow bike class. I believe these two riders took a YZ450F and a KTM SX350, traded out that front wheel for a sled ski, traded out the back wheel and linkage for a timber sled, more narrow track. Green flag is out, and we're bringing some snow bikes out to Tenney Mountain. Side-by-side battle for the lead. They've swapped back and forth all day today. Alex George, your heat race and first feature race winner, looking to make it 3 for 3 on the day. And it looks like he might be so far. George putting your first lap in the books as the main event leader for main number 2. About 2.5 seconds back, we have the 748 of William Coulter right behind. Single file throughout the field as our top 2 riders make their way onto the front straightaway there. Another lap in the books for the 979 machine of George. White flag is out. One more lap to go for our snow bikes. George putting on a blistering pace, now 6 seconds ahead of his counterpart in second. Coulter back in second. One last time up and over that checkered flag finish. Alex George going to take the win for Octane Riders out of Meredith, New Hampshire. William Coulter going to settle for second place. Race number 5 up next, our 120 Super Mods class. Again, looking for the clean sweep today. The 10 of Dylan Ryder Jr. out of Livermore, Maine. He won the heat race and the first feature race, looking to do so the same on this second feature. We have the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury from Corinth, Vermont, the 8 of Isaiah McElroy, and the 030 of Liam Morse from Lebanon, New Hampshire.
Like I said, the center of the snowcross track is
4 riders on the call sheet.
we're on race 5 of 17 races. So you can come up here.
Like we've been doing with the rest of our kids' classes, we're going to bring them up to the top of the hill, make sure that they are all set and prepared to take their first green light of this second round of features.
Tenney Mountain, brought to you by the National Guard. We're going to let you do it. We're in New Hampshire, man. Live free or die, right? That's right. Spinning your tunes behind me is Jeremiah.
We're getting our kiddos all lined up.
For DJs. So if you have a
4 riders
want Jeremiah
in the gate.
some tunes for a wedding, let him know. He's your band.
Ryder Jr., Kingsbury, McElroy, Morse. 1, 2, 3, 4. As they get the green flag, side-by-side battle at the lead. And it looks like it might be Ryder Jr. taking the early race lead, pulling away from that battle for second and third. The 8 of Isaiah McElroy had a nice jump there at the start, was battling Ryder Jr. for the hole shot. Not quite going to work, had some issues getting up that hill. McElroy back to third. Kingsbury now sitting solely in second place. Ryder Jr. with a blistering pace out front. 5 seconds ahead of our new second place rider, the 030 of Liam Morse. It's Ryder Jr., Morse, McElroy, Kingsbury, with our second, third, and fourth place riders all separated by half a sled length, as we have a new second place rider, McElroy, able to battle back, get back up to second on that uphill section on the northeast side of the track. Ryder Jr. now a half lap ahead of second, third, and fourth. White flag is out for Maverick Kingsbury in second. McElroy sitting in third. Morse now back to fourth. But out front alone, though, yet another clean sweep on the day. It's going to be the 10 machine of Dylan Ryder Jr. taking the W home today for race number 5. Back to second place, checkered flag is flying. With a 13.5 second gap, it's going to be Isaiah McElroy finishing second. Kingsbury in third, Morse rounding out your top 4. That is race number 5 for the day. Up next, Ditchbanger 1990 to 99 class. Again, another clean sweep seeker for the day. The 188 of Stephen Shearer from Lancaster, New Hampshire. We have the 74 of Craig Tochi out of Salisbury, Maine, Massachusetts. The 1 of Joseph Bouchard. The 8 of Matt Coate. And the 027 of Nicholas Ross. 5 racers looking to make the call for race number 6. Now, folks, I hope I don't jinx Shearer by saying this, but of our first 5 races of the day, all 5 racers have gone a clean sweep on the day, winning their heat race, winning their first feature race, and winning their second race, their second feature race. We have a chance to do so yet again for race number 6 as the green flag drops. Shearer on the outside, side-by-side battle up through that northeast steep trail section, taking that left-hand hole shot corner, still side-by-side on the outside. He's able to duck down low. Shearer now in sole possession of that lead as we get onto the front straightaway there. At the line, up and over that start-finish line jump, it's Shearer, Bouchard on the 1, Tochi on the 74, Coate and Ross rounding out your 5 sled field. Shearer with a 1.5 advantage already over the second place rider, Joseph Bouchard. Nice battle there going for second and third. Bouchard on the outside, Tochi on the inside. Tochi able to make the pass for second place. Tochi now setting his sights on Shearer up front. White flag is out though. 1 more lap to go for the 188 of Stephen Shearer taking the lead so far in our Ditchbanger 1990 to 99 class. One last time up that steep Tenney Mountain hill, it's Shearer, Tochi, Bouchard, Coate, Ross, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we get up to the top of the trail. Make that hairpin left-hand corner into that switchback left-right section. Down onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag flies. Yet another clean sweeper for the day. Steven Shearer going to take the W. Craig Tochi finishing second on the 74. Joseph Bouchard rounding out your podium for the Ditchbanger 90 to 99 class. Race number 7. Yet another chance to keep this clean sweep dream alive in the junior Ditchbanger 13 to 17 class. Heat race and feature race winner, the 411 of Riley Hartford out of Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Sponsored by Eastern Propane and Oil, Wolfboro Boat Company, Northeastern Development. We also have the 22 of Haley Hartford, the 8X of Wyatt Harlow, and the 77 of Reed Harlow. Last two races, we've seen a Hartford-Harlow finishing. We'll see what we might be seeing this time around. Right now, it looks like Riley Hartford, your early race leader. Haley Hartford currently sitting second. Wyatt Harlow in third. The 77 of Reed Harlow rounding out your 4-sled field, leading the Ditchbanger 8 to 12 class. So again, we do have two different classes racing in this race right now. So we will have two main event winners, which brings the 77 of Reed Harlow, though finishing 4th overall throughout the day in this race, has also won every race in his class, so we could look to see two clean sweepers in race 7 alone. Onto the front straightaway. White flag is out, one more lap to go for the 411 of Riley Hartford, looking to make another clean sweep in the books. It's Haley Hartford, Wyatt Harlow, second and third, and then a little bit of space before we get back to the 77 of Reed Harlow, leading that Ditchbanger 8 to 12 class. Up front, though, Eastern Propane and Oil, Wolfboro Boat Company, Northeastern Development. Give it up for your next clean sweep winner of the day, the 411 of Riley Hartford, taking the checkers. And it's going to be the 22 of Haley Hartford finishing second. Wyatt Harlow going to take third, and another clean sweep for Reed Harlow on the 77 in the kids Ditchbanger 8 to 12 class. For the first time today, we are not looking for a clean sweep winner here. This next race is a who's who. In the Pro 206 class, we have 3 competitors. Heat race winner was the 030 of Liam Morris out of Lebanon, New Hampshire. Feature race winner was the 025 of Maverick Kingsbury from Corinth, Vermont. And we also have the 009 of Calvin Kingsbury in this race as well. So this race, though not a clean sweep seeker, is going to be the deciding factor for this class right here. We have a heat race winner, a main event winner. We'll see if we might even get a third winner in the 009 of Calvin Kingsbury, or we might have our first two-peat winner here between either Maverick Kingsbury on the 025 or Liam Morris on the 030.
Oh, we dropped somebody.
As we get our kiddos lined up, Flagman is going to check the sights, make sure the track is clear, the kids are all ready to go. One of our kids making sure his goggles are all set.
On the 025, and then 8-year-old Liam Morris on the 030.
Another quick thank you to Tenney Mountain for having us out this weekend, one of our premier sponsors, along with the National Guard. Thank you to them for being able to bring us out to the Northeast to do some Sunday Funday racing. Flagger gives the racers the sign. Flag is up. And we're back to Sunday Funday racing, and your early race leader looks to be the 030 of Liam Morris, setting the pace out front. One of our riders looping it around down at the bottom of the hill there, trying to get things resituated. First lap officially in the books for Morse, trying to be your two-peat winner and get his first feature race win of the day here at Tenney Mountain. Morse able to pull quite a bit away from Maverick Kingsbury with a full 6-second advantage over him. I believe the two Kingsburys slightly got into each other there at the start gate. The 009 of Calvin Kingsbury has been having some issues getting up this steep hill on that small sled.
Ryan, did he get up there yet?
The two Kingsburys, I believe, were decently close to each other, which gave Morse the shot he needed to get by and pull his way up that steep ski slope hill. White flag is out, and we've got lap traffic coming up. Liam Morse able to get by the 009 of Calvin Kingsbury nice and clean. Let's see if Maverick can get by his sibling
Southside Sales and Service.
without any issues. Looks like Maverick having some issues getting by Calvin. He's able to, but it drastically slows his drive up that steep hill. The Kingsburys are side by side, and that is exactly what Morse needed to pull out ahead. The youngest of our competitors back in third, but checkered flag is out for the 030 of Liam Morse, taking the win for Lebanon, New Hampshire. Calvin Kingsbury on the 009, needing a little assistance up there at the top of the hill. It's Morse, Maverick Kingsbury, and Calvin Kingsbury, 1, 2, 3, as Morse becomes a feature race winner. We're officially halfway through our second set of features. Race number 9 about to hit the track. 500 trail. Our lone competitor is the 44 of Bo App from Brownfield, Maine. Another clean sweep seeker in the 600 trail class. The 33 of Junior Sierra won both the heat and feature race for Stud Boy, Letter Rip, Klotz, and JB Products, looking to do so again during this feature. We have the 292 of Jackson Murray sponsored by JCM Performance. The 69 of Matthew Parker, sponsored by Addison Cables, Parker Bro, CNA Ski, and Land and Sea. We have the 1 of Whitney Roberts, the 73 of Steve Ballard, the 127 of Mike Wynn, and the 316 of Cody Bain. 4 of our racers making the call. 2 side by side at the lead, trying to get the whole shot. Up at the top of the ski slope, we've got a nice 2-rider battle for the lead, 2-rider battle for third and fourth. Pulling away, though, through that switchback section. Out front alone, early race leader. I can't say I'm shocked. Who'd have thought it'd be the 33 of Junior Sierra looking to do that clean sweep? But hey, he's got company right behind him. Matthew Parker on the 69, trying to make moves. Doesn't want him to get that clean sweep. 292 of Murray and the 1 of Roberts, currently sitting third and fourth. Back onto the front straightaway. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for Sierra. Parker 2 seconds behind him. Jackson Murray, 0.7 seconds behind Parker. Murray trying to make a move on Parker for the second step on that podium. One final time at the top of the trail through that left-hand hairpin turn into the switchbacks. Checkered flag flies. Yet another clean sweep on the day. The 33 of Junior Sierra taking the win for Stud Boy, Letter Rip, Klotz, and JB Products. That was race 9. Race 10 up next. Again, we might see another clean sweeper. In the Ditchbanger Twins class, winning the heat, winning the feature, the 33 of Bruce Gaspardi Sr., sponsored by Southside Sales, Polaris, Woody's, Traction, Rock Speed Effects, and CNA Pro Skis, looking to do it again. The challenger, though, the 918 of Hunter Riley out of Bristol, Maine, trying to make that sweep a close. We also have the 64 of Wyatt Packin, sponsored by HK Power Sports, and the 8X of Wyatt Harlow, sponsored by Whitcomb Hillworks. Racing out of South Stratford, Vermont.
We have 6 races left, so just keep that in mind. This is your last crossing since they finished.
Looks like the 16 of Colton Gillian also making the lineup here today. Gillian had been on the lineup for both the heat and the first feature. Did not make it out, though. Looks like he will be coming by this time around. Colton Gillian, sponsored by Gillian & Sons Excavating and Southside Sales Polaris out of East Fairfield, Vermont. We're going to give our spectators a chance to move out of the infield. And as we get the track is clear sign, we will go back to some green flag action. Couple more sponsors on the way. But first, green flag action for race number 10. Ditchbanger Twins class. Single file throughout the field as we get through that switchback corner on the northwest side. First lap officially in the books for Gaspardi Sr., keeping the hopes alive for a clean sweep. Packing on the 64 in second, Riley on the 918 in third. Then it's the 8X of Harlow rounding out the 4-sled field. The battle now looks to be raging for second and third. Out front alone, white flag is out for Gaspardi Sr. 2.5 second advantage from second place. A second in between Packin and Riley. 2 seconds between Riley and Harlow in fourth, and 4 seconds in between Harlow and Gillian in fifth. All evenly spaced, single file. One last time through the switchback onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag is out. Southside Sales Polaris, Woody's Traction, Rock Speed Effects, and CNA Proski's Bruce Gaspardi Sr. keeping that streak alive on the clean sweep side of things. Packin gonna finish second, Riley rounding out your podium. Race 11 up next. Again, more clean sweep seekers. So far, only one of our races today have seen multiple winners, and race 11 is not going to be one of those. In the 800 to 850cc trail class, heat race and feature race winner, the 111 of Cody Ellis, along with the 316 of Cody Bain. In the WSA X440 improved class, the 292 of Jackson Murray, and in the Leaf Spring class, the 20 of Timmy Bildeau and the 71 of Dawson Eldridge. 4 riders making the call here. Out front, your early race leader, up and over the start-finish line tabletop. We're single file throughout the field in this triple threat class. So even though we have 4 racers on the track, though we will have a first, second, third, and fourth place overall, we are actually going to have 3 separate race winners. Out front alone, the 74 machine leading the charge. A little bit of space back before we get to our second place overall race leader and our third place overall competitor. Nice single file racing action. But we've got some competition up front. Checkered flag is flying. Another clean sweep on the day. Eldridge going to take the win in the Leaf Spring class. Murray in the WSA X440 class, and Ellis in the 800 to 850cc trail class. Up next, race 12, Junior Open. Finally back to some competition here. Heat race winner saw the 10 of Chase Meekin. Feature race winner was the 16 of Brennan Camo. We also have the 22 of Riley Hartford and the 56X of Grayson Gorham making the lineup. Four riders in the Junior Open class here today. Green flag is out, and up the hill We've got a nice single file lead going on there through the switchback, up and over the start-finish line tabletop. The 111 of Cody Ellis currently taking the lead here as we threw a second class in there for you, the 800 to 850cc trail class. Putting another lap in the books. White flag is out. One more lap to go for Ellis in the lead. A little bit of space before we get back to our second place competitor. And the checkered flag flies. Ellis gonna take the win today. Up next, our Ditchbanger Triples class. One of our racers, a little too antsy, jumps the line. We're going to get him re-lined up here before we get back to some green flag action. Looks like we have our Junior Open class out there now. $16 of Camo, $10 of Meakin, $22 of Hartford, $56X of Gorham all making the call. Up that Tenney Mountain Hill. Camo, your early race leader, going to take the whole shot up at the top of the trail slope there through the switchbacks down onto the front straightaway. First lap officially in the books for Brennan Camo, your early race leader. Meakin about 2 seconds behind in second. Your heat race winner, setting pace. It's Camo, Meakin, Gorham, Hartford, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back onto the front straightaway. White flag is in the air. One more lap to go for Brennan Camo to take 2 feature wins on the day. Pulling away from the 16 of Chase Meakin, now 3 seconds ahead. And we have a 4.5 second gap before we get back to the 56X of Grayson Gorham and the 22 of Hartford. One final time, though, from Nashua, New Hampshire. Checkered flag is waving for Brennan Camo, gonna take the win in the Junior Open class. Meakin gonna finish second. Gorham gonna round out your top 3. Up next, race 13, our Ditchbanger Triples class. Another clean sweep seeker, the 74 of Craig Tochi from Salisbury, Massachusetts. We have the 69 of David Cecere from Peabody, Massachusetts. Londonderry, New Hampshire's Doug Wintle on the 02. The Kyle Place piloted number 12 out of Wolfboro, New Hampshire. And the 66 of Sagus, Massachusetts, Phil Amico. We're going to bring our sleds up to the top of the hill here to make sure they're all ready to go. And I take it back. It looks like we jostled some things around. So it's going to be race 14 that's lining up right now, our plus 30 snowcross class. Plus 30 snowcross, we're bringing up to the top of the hill just to make sure that all 8 of our competitors are able to get evenly spaced, all see the flagman correctly. Again, this one's a nice who's who class. Feature race winner was the 111 of Cody Ellis out of Middleton, Massachusetts. Heat race winner was the 194 of Spencer De La Brewer, all the way from Ham Lake, Minnesota. We have the 314 of Nate Wilkinson, the 253 of John Burgoyne, the 02 of Brian Whaley, the 33 of Junior Sierra, 114 of William Coulter, 171 of David Baird, and the 192 of Eric White, all making the call today. We're going to get our sleds all lined up and set and ready.
That's just me.
8 sleds on the lineup today for plus 30 snowcross.
5 laps. Is he saying 5 laps?
One of our sleds backing up slightly. Going to realign here. Or it looks like he might be opting to start on the second row. We're going to move our sleds around, jostle them a bit in position. In the meantime, wanted to send another quick thank you to some of our sponsors who are making it able for us to come out to beautiful New Hampshire this weekend. From Minnesota, Rugged Radios helping us throughout this weekend. Along with North Point Equipment Rentals. But on the track, flag is up. We're plus 30 snowcross racing, side-by-side action at the front of the field, trying to get that so coveted hole shot award from Studboy Traction through the switchbacks onto the front straightaway. First lap in the books, officially going to go to the 33, I believe, of Junior Sierra. Finished second in the first feature race, didn't even podium in the heat race. Sierra gonna lead the first lap. Nate Wilkinson finished second in the heat race, gonna currently sit second in this second feature race. And it's feature race winner Cody Ellis sitting third. Onto the front straightaway, white flag is in the air. One more lap to go for Junior Sierra. The lineup as it stands, it's Sierra, Wilkinson, Ellis, Burgoyne, Whaley, Baird, Coulter, and White. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One last time up to the top of the trail, taking that left-hand corner into that hairpin left switchback section. Checkered flag is flying. We've got a new feature race winner. The 33 of Junior Sierra gonna take the W. First race we've had all day where a different rider has won every race in a class. And right before the checkered flag, we're going to have a yellow there as one of our riders goes up and over. I wonder if we'll be able to see a quick instant replay of what happened with our rider there. You'll see our third place competitor, it was Cody Ellis, gets up on his side. Let's take one last look at that. He goes up through that right-hand corner.
Good to see he's okay.
Ellis is back up on his sled, all good. You'll see he gets that left sled caught on the berm there, just goes up and over the right-hand side. Nothing he could do about it. Tough to see for Ellis, coming off his feature race win in this class, just gets caught the wrong way and goes straight down. Ellis gonna finish 8th, up and over that checkered flag finish line. Glad to see him back up and running though. Race 15, Ditchbanger 2000 to 2009. We have the 33 of Bruce Gaspardi, senior year feature race winner. Heat race winner was the 292 of Jackson Murray out of East Burke, Vermont, racing for JCM Performance. The 117 of Mark Restaino from Derry, New Hampshire. And Gilmanton, New Hampshire's very own Wyatt Packin, piloting the HK Power Sports number 64. 4 racers, 3 laps, 2 races left to go for our Mountain Sled Fest weekend. Single file up to the top of the trail, making that hairpin left into the switchback section onto the front straightaway. Our top 3 riders slightly separated from our 4th place rider. Early race leader is going to be the 33 of Bruce Gaspardi Sr. setting the pace here for Southside Sales Polaris and Woody's Traction. It's Gaspardi Sr., Murray, Packin, Restaino, 1, 2, 3, 4. White flag is out. One more lap to go for Gaspardi Sr. As Murray giving chase a second behind, takes that inside line, looking to get up side by side, wants to battle and take that feature race win away from Gaspardi. Has a tough run up that hill, not going to go for it. That's about cements it in stone for Gaspardi. Checkered flag is in his sights. Dual feature race winner in the Ditchbanger 2000-2009 class. Bruce Gaspardi Sr. gonna take the win. Jackson Murray gonna settle for second. Wyatt Packin is gonna round out your podium. And just like that, folks, we've had a full weekend of activities, snow cross, hill cross, Sunday Funday events. But tonight, it's our final race of the weekend, final race of the 2025 Sunday Funday season here for X Racing. 600 open, 18 plus. Feature race winner was the 16 of Colton Gillian. Heat race winner, the 918 of Hunter Riley. We also have the 9 of Thomas Sylvester, the 69 of Matthew Parker, the 1 of Jason Dewar, and the 00 of Maxwell Quinn. Our final racer is going to make his way across the track. Flagger is going to give our riders the look one last time for not just the day, not just the weekend, and not just the year. Flagger gets in his flagging stance. And it looks like the 9 of Thomas Sylvester needed to be pulled back a little bit. Sylvester going to restart his sled, get all ready to go. Gives the okay. Flagger gives the hand signal. Set and ready.
Man, X Racing, Tenney Mountain, partnering up with the National Guard, put on a fantastic show here today.
Riders are set. Hand is down. Flag is flying. And we get our final green flag of the year, making our way up the Tenney Mountain. Steep hill there through the slopes. Hairpin left through the switchbacks onto the front straightaway. First lap in the books is going to go to early race leader, the 69 of Matthew Parker. Parker, Riley, Sylvester, Quinn. Out front alone, though, it's the 16 of Gillian setting the pace. Parker's going to get passed on the inside by Riley. It's Gillian, Riley, Parker, Sylvester, Quinn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit of space in between our race leader, the 16 of Gillian, and the 918 of Hunter Riley. Riley's got competition behind him, though, was able to make the pass on Parker, but he's fighting back. Checkered flag is out, though. Final checkered of the year goes to the 16 of Colton Gillian. Gonna take the win today for Gillian and Sons Excavating and Southside Sales Polaris. Hunter Riley gonna finish second. Matthew Parker on the 69, rounding out your final podium of 2025. Well, just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we started off our Sunday Funday series here in Minnesota, all the way over at ERX Motor Park in December of 2024. We had a few races out there. We raced in Maine earlier today, and we wanted to finish the season with all of you folks here at beautiful Tenney Mountain in Plymouth, New Hampshire. We've had an amazing 2025 season with you guys so far, and we are more than excited to start making some announcements about the 2026 season that will be coming here in just a few months. Before we know it, we'll be back on our sleds in the snow celebrating Sunday Funday. On behalf of everyone at Sunday Funday, X Racing, MBTV Sports, and Tenney Mountain, my name is Zach Bailey, and I want to thank you all for joining us not only today, not only this weekend, but the entire 2025 Sunday Funday season. And I look forward to seeing you all next year during our 2026 Sunday Funday series. Good night, and thank